Greetings, this is Chris over at SkyTech Enterprise Solutions. And in today's video, we take a look at our app and try to make a few enhancements. The main activity we'll be doing today is working on creating or using a global variable to accomplish some repetitive tasks on this app. All right, so let's get into it. Well, as you can see from our last video, uh, this app is version 1.0, right? And I decided to display the versions here while I'm working on the app, so I can keep track of what version I'm looking at. Now, this may also happen. You might publish the app into your environment. It's under heavy use. Folks are actually using this app, but then you need to make some upgrades or enhancements to the app. You might want to roll out your changes or upgrades as another version, right? Um, and, I've seen instances where developers basically hide these versions. You kind of keep it to yourself, so it's something that you yourself can use as a marker. Oh, what version did I publish, right? What are people using? Or you can have it be visible, as most software has version numbers, right? This is not unheard of in the IT environment. Um, but in this case, what I'm going to demonstrate is the use of global variables. Okay, so for instance, I have this issue. Today, I want to upgrade this app from version 1.0 to version 1.1. How do I do that? Now, if I go on every screen, I have that version listed, but I want to be able to do this in one spot and not have to go to every screen. Because if you imagine, if you have an app that's more advanced and you have 30 different screens and you have to go on every screen and upgrade or update your version number, that's going to be a pain, right? That's going to be extra work that might take away from other work unnecessarily. So we are going to use a global variable to accomplish this task and make our lives easier. Now, when I click on this version, so this is a label, right? Basic label, a humble, simple label. And we're just using the text value of the label and typing in some text values, right? Or some literal character values in here. But so for instance, I can use a variable, a context variable to create a variable, a context variable to create a variable that updates this version number on the screen. But as the name says, a context variable is limited to the context of this screen that we're looking at, right? So that means that that value would not be present on other screens, okay? So best way to tackle this issue is go to your app itself. So again, you have all your screens here, but this is the app itself. So you can manipulate the app using this feature. Just before we move on, once you click on these three dots or ellipses, you have the option to collapse all, expand all, right? So you're expanding all under the app. You can collapse that as well. You can navigate to your start screen, right? Which in this case is my home screen over here. Well, let's see if it works. So if I go to navigate, yeah, well, you can you can use a setting there, right? To navigate to your start screen. You can also run on start. Okay. All right. So we'll deal with the start screen some other time. So here is my app, and this is the on start property. And here is the start screen property. So you can set some parameters here for the start screen itself, right? Uh, but here we want to go to the on start, right? So say when the app starts, do X, okay? Set a variable, create a theme, create this, do that, tell me what time it is, et cetera, et cetera. But in this case, what we want to do is set a global variable, okay? So I'm just going to get rid of this text here. And how do we set a global variable? We use the set command. Okay, and then you call it the name that you want. So here we'll call it variable app version, right? Using camel notation just to make reading easier. And then you put a comma and then you set the value that you want. So here I'm just gonna actually I'm just gonna type it out. So we'll just leave it at V. So V 1.1, right? And close out the brackets here. Now, this is a global variable, so I really don't want to confuse that with anything else. So I'm just going to put the letters GBL in front of it to make, kind of make reading easier. And I'll make the V capitalized so it's easier to look at. Okay, so that's my global variable. And right above that, I'm going to add a comment. So that's how you do a comment in PowerApps or PowerFX, whatever you want to call it. And here we'll say global variable for, we'll just say set version number using global variable. Keep it simple. So now that this global variable is set, right, I'm just going to copy the name of that variable. So I'll do my control C on my keyboard here. And I'll come to the label and go to the text property of the label. And I'm going to type the name of the global variable here, right? As you can see, the label is blank, right? It's not really giving me any number, it's not telling me what the version number that I put into this global variable is. And that's because the global variable is currently blank. How do I basically make this global variable come alive? All right, you go to the app, you click on the three dots, and you run the on start property, and then all of a sudden, the content of your variable is displayed. Right, so that basically means that this variable is not empty anymore, right? And thus, when you look down here, you see that the variable itself is now populated with v1.1. If I were to change this to v1.2, automatically the variable does not update. I have to go back and run the on start, and now we're upgraded to version 1.2 down here. Right, so I'm going to go to every screen that I have the version number listed on, find that same label, paste the global variable name as the text value, right? So we'll do the same for manage users. We'll do the same for view cases. And we'll do the same for submit new case. Oops, Control V, paste. And we are good to go, right? So now I can publish this app and all my users will come to the app. And when they open the app or access the app, the onStart property will run and they will be seeing, among other things, right? But since we're talking about this here, and they'll see version 1.2. Now, if I want to change this to version 1.3, I'll do that, save it. and I can publish it, right? But just for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to run the onStart again. Notice it's 1.2, version 1.2 on every other screen. But once we run this onStart, now we're upgraded to version 1.3. So this is awesome. Okay, this works just fine. I'm going to publish this so that my my users can actually use this app, and I'm going to say upgraded to version 1.3, right? So this is just a description for myself to keep track of what I'm doing, et cetera, et cetera. So that is what we can use a global variable for within this app. And again, you notice we have this piece of text, this footer is on every single screen as well. So imagine if I have to come in here and add a phone number to my IT team or my help desk, that will take some doing, right? I have to come in here, make that change up here, right? Change the text, upgrade it, and I have to do the same on every single screen. Or I can create a global variable and call it, global var footer, footer info or global var footer. Put all this text value into it, into that global variable, and then I can copy the value of that global variable to all the screens. And every time I go in and make an update to this piece of text, right up here, imagine that we had that global variable here, then it would update on every screen, okay? Maybe we should just test it out. Let's test our theory out. So we'll go ahead and create a new variable. So GBL for global, and this is just my nomenclature. You can do what suits you. So set global variable, so we'll say app footer, right? And I'm just gonna go copy all this text back to my app, and I will put these text string here into quotes. Oops. Let's see here. Oh, I have double quotes here because I copied the other quotes. And here we go, right? So now I can go in and copy the variable name, come down to this label, right? It's a simple label. And the text value will become the variable. Obviously, the variable is blank because it has not been run yet. So now I can go and run it. And all of a sudden, the value of that variable is displayed. Okay, so now let's say I want to change the text a little bit. So now it says, if you have any issues with this app, please reach out to SkyTech and Sol IT team. So I can change it to please reach out to the SkyTech and Sol team, IT team. Well, the name is too long, so I'm going to change it to SkyTech IT team at URL, right? So once I do that, it's still not updated, as you can see. But once I go and run the onStart value command here, you see that the footer has been upgraded to the new text. So all I have to do is go in here and copy. I'm going to do Control C on my keyboard for copy here, and I'll go on every screen, select that label, go to the text property, and replace it with the global variable name. So we're going to do that on all the screens. And let's see here. So we're manage users. Now we have to do that on view cases, submit new case, same deal. And now we are good to go, right? All our screens have the most current message by way of the global variable. So those are two very simple examples of using a global variable in your PowerApps app. We'll be harnessing global variables a lot more in the subsequent videos, but I just wanted to give you this little intro towards global variables. And I will see you in the next video.